Hello and welcome to Galaxia Gaming. In this video, I will be showcasing the Generation 1 Starters Pokemon Card Collection Binder that is now live on my eBay store. The link to that will be in the description below. All cards in this binder have been examined under a magnifying glass with built-in LED lights. Once assessed, I organized each card into three condition categories: near mint, 8 through 7, light play to moderate play, 6 through 5, and heavy play to damage, 4 through 1. Since assessing the card's condition is subjective, please reference the eBay's listing pictures as well as this video to decide whether or not my assessment is fair to you. With that being said, I will now go through the entire binder and explain how the binder is organized. I will occasionally pull out a few cards to show as examples of how I assessed each card. So this is the Generation 1 Starters Pokemon Card Collection Binder. So first off, as you can see here, we're going to be starting off with Near Mint, 8 through 7, and going just like we're reading a book, left to right, top down. And so this would start at this Shadowless Unlimited Bulbasaur. So just pulling out some examples. Try to show you the front and the back of each card, just to kind of give you an idea on how I assessed the conditions of these cards. So, near mint, try to avoid as much whitening as I possibly can to give that assessment on both the front and the back, as well as making sure that there was no indentation of any kind or any staining or even something as small as little specks that I picked up while looking at under a microscope, or not a microscope, magnifying glass. So very picky when I was looking at these to give you, the buyer, the best decision that you can make with all the information that I am providing to you. Because one of the things I appreciate when I'm looking at collections is to have the seller provide as much info as they possibly can with as many pictures or videos or anything like that for me as the buyer, again, to make a good decision on whether or not I want to purchase the collection or not. So you can see here, a lot of these starters are organized by the sets they've also released in. So you saw Shadowless, you're seeing Unlimited, you're even seeing Base Set 2 with some of these. Also having some Legendary Collection. And some of these are even first edition. So it gets said either none to very little whitening. One you can see there in the bottom near the P, that one little dot. But other than that, card looks really good on the edges. A really clean front. Really good as, cards if you want to try to get into PSA or Beckett submissions or just to get into grading in general. These are good starter binders that have already been looked at and can kind of help you get your foot in the door at a lower cost just to have some inventory to start the submission once prices start to go down a little bit. Here's another Shadowless, but Charmeleon this time. Back really clean. A few white dots here and there, but something that I would consider still in the near mint, just based off of some other submissions that I've seen and gotten back. So just got done through, Bulbasaur, Ivysaur, Charmander, Charmeleon, going right through, the Squirtles. We're also going into the other variants too, right? So the base set 2, there's some Legendary Collection, there's even some Rocket as well. So whatever set they came out in during the Wizards of the Coast era will be in this binder if I had it. And for this binder, as we go through, as you can already see, I have included both Pikachu and Eevee as additional starters in this collection, which ended up turning out to be a really cool collection hobby of mine over the last few years, just to collect as many starters as I possibly could. So I thought that was a fun little side hobby to do. And at any point, too, if you see any of these cards that you want more pictures of or just had additional questions on, please don't hesitate to reach out to me because I am more than happy to answer as many questions as I possibly can. You can see here some first set jungle. We're even getting into some of the legendary collection again. Some Pikachu from the Neo set. And here you can see we're going into the Eevee, starting with the jungle. Even going into some of the Rocket Eevees as well. And so we're going over here, and then now you can see that we're going to be starting with into the next category, the light play, moderate play. So to kind of reiterate, so from this Eevee all the way back, so if we go all the way back to the front, this whole section, so all these cards were in that near mint assessment. So now we're starting to go into the light play, moderate play. So it would be starting at this first edition Bulbasaur at a base set. So really cool opportunity to get your hands on some Shadowless stuff if you've never had it before, either growing up as a kid or if you wanted to just start gathering your own collection of first edition Shadowless stuff for starters. Like, this is a great way to get into that. And so you can see here, which I just wanted to make sure it wasn't just a smudge, but I didn't want to dig at it too much. There's a little black dot, right to the left of the artwork, but some may think that actually is really good looking, but since I look at this under a magnifying glass, I tried my best to be very picky with this stuff to the best of my ability, to give you guys the best decisions that you can make with as much information as I can provide. So you can see Shadowless Unlimited, really getting into a lot of just pages of starters, which is having this binder alone is just a cool thing to go through. So if you want, just start your own binder collection, or do whatever you want with these. It's a cool way to get into it and just build up that really nice inventory to get into the hobby if you haven't been in the hobby already. See some more first ed rocket stuff. Whole page of Squirtles. Again, this is still all light play, moderate play stuff. Checking out another Shadowless Pikachu. Big boy himself. Some black dots, some smudges here and there, but great binder card, as most of these are in this section. Really clean, nothing too distracting if you were to show this off inside of a binder, sleeved up. Looks really nice. Going through base set 2, going through jungle, some gym hero, gym challenge stuff. Again, going back into the EVs, because in this collection I considered the Bulbasaur, Charmander, Squirtle, as well as Pikachu and Eevee as the starters. So just got to the heavy play. So from this Eevee from the Neo set all the way back to here, back to this Bulbasaur. So that's a good amount of light play, moderate play stuff. Great binder cards, or just to sell as individuals. And here we're going into the heavy play damage. And again, some people have different opinions on what heavy play is and damage, so I just kind of put them all under one. But that's why I'm making this video, is to try to do my best to give you an idea on what I personally consider it. So here, I'll try to explain if the camera doesn't pull it up. But there's a good, there's a noticeable crease in the corners of these cards, as well as some, just random, like black dots or whatever that's just been accumulated from, kids pulling them in and out of their binder, showing them off, just wear and tear of these things, because these were definitely loved, um, by whoever owned them before I did. So, heavy edge wear, but overall, it's there. Bulbasaur is still intact. Just keep throwing that in the binder and you're good to go. You can see here, first edition base set Charmander, which is pretty cool. On this one, just make sure, the front looks pretty clean. Goes really the back. Yeah, there's some like weird stains on it and on the back side, but the front looks really good, in my opinion, just for like a card that's in that heavy play damage category. I tried to be as strict as I possibly could. You can see, there you go, that's a really good angle on it. It's like just that weird stain on the back. Someone probably brought it out and their lunch in elementary school spilled some juice on it or whatever it might be. But growing up with these things, you wanted to show them off as much as you could. Some more shadowless stuff. Going into the Charmeleons now. And here's some other, again, and then I'm going to explain all this here soon. But sorry for the EV. So from the EV back to heavy and damage, there's not really a lot even in there. It's almost like a bell curve. Like a lot of the smaller volume stuff is either in the near mint, but even this binder had a lot of near mint stuff, more so than the heavy play. But there's really not that many heavy play stuff in here, or heavy play to damage. And so this part, these are pretty much just bonus cards, to be honest. These are just things that, I personally felt like I just didn't want to really hold on to. So I just decided, just as a little bonus, just to kind of throw them in here. And they still follow the same pattern that I just showcased here. So in here we got some just random stuff. These aren't necessarily going to be all Wizards of the Coast. I mean, you can see here, right, like the Salamence. These were from the Sword and Shield era. So there are some modern stuff, but there's also some stuff, you can see here, like the Expedition. Just random hollows that I either didn't want to collect or just, time to part ways with. So, so these cards, hollows are obviously very different from non-hollows, in the sense that scratches come up way easier on hollow cards for obvious reasons. So if my camera will pick it up, there we go. So cards like these, I try to do my best to really figure out a fair assessment of something with a holographic pattern. Again, but the edges on the back, those white dots, I tried keeping to that same standard. But the hollow on the front of the cards, again, I've done my best to really nitpick what I would consider a near mint card versus going down through light play all the way to damage. And this is what this video is about. It's just to showcase the best of my ability. Here's a Crawdaunt, really good. Very little. I don't even think there's any. I don't even know if there's any scratch. I'm sure there is somewhere, like a print line or whatever, but really good condition. As much as I can shine it off. Really good back. Trying to keep that same standard for both hollow and non-hollow cards. Just some random shattered. All kind of really crazy in this light, but it's a bunch of just cool little bonus cards that I just decided it'd be interesting to just throw in here for really no other reason other than just to have it as a little bonus. Again, some expeditions all over the place. You can also see some Japanese stuff in that earlier Gen 1 era. Some reverse expedition. Um, all over the place, right? We got Neo, we got Generation 3, the Zangooses, the Larions, get into like the 4 or 5 generation, all over the place with this stuff. So you can see here that I'm starting to look at the light play, moderate play stuff. So from here, near mint, this Darkrai, this page, and a little more than half of the next page here. But just again, just kind of try to show off. I don't know if the camera will show off any. Yeah, there we go. You can kind of see some scratches. With those scratches and anything that I felt would you know, it all depends on that first glance, right? You want these cards to look as nice as you can, and if there are some scratches that pop up, that's if they're man-made, because there are some instances, and that's why I'm trying to record this video because it's all subjective, right? Some scratches may be listed as near mint, in PSA's eyes or Beckett's eyes or whatever, but some other people may think that was light play. So that's why, again, if you have any questions about any of these cards, like if you want to look at them a little bit more closely or have more angles, or if you want me to provide more pictures with different lighting, I'm more than happy to do so you feel confident in your bid and ultimately trying to own this really nice collection of starters and just random stuff. Show the back. And then again, from light play all the way to heavy. And then there's only a few heavy play damage. Just the Ancient Mew from the promo, and just a Japanese Alakazam and a Chansey. And that is the entire binder collection. One thing that I will say that will hopefully be fortunate for you that I've seen in most listings is that you actually keep this binder. I'm going to mail this binder with all the cards inside of it. So the binder itself will be placed in a really snug fit box that's perfect for these binders, and then put inside of more protection, and then another layer of shipping, and another inside of another more rigid box, to give this as much protection as possible to keep these cards in the condition that they're already in, because the last thing that any of us want is for the condition to get worse based off of shipping and handling. So, like I said a few times, but I'll say it again. If you have any questions about any of these cards, and specifically, please feel free to reach out to me. I'll do my best to accommodate your requests on any of these cards, and just give me some time to take the pictures or shed some better lighting on some stuff. But other than that, that is it. And the link to the listing will be down below in the description. So, all right, take care, guys.